until they are. And you can't be offended by people's sins if you're going to show them mercy. If you're going to win them to Christ, you just have to love them where they are. Here's a good example that in Matthew chapter 9, talking about Matthew, who was one of the disciples, followers of Jesus. Matthew was a tax collector. In those days, tax collectors, that was the most hated profession in the Roman Empire. Because Rome said to the tax collectors, here's what you want, we want you to collect, and anything you get above that, you can keep. So it was extortion. And so a tax collector could come to you and say, you owe this much money. You had no alternative but to pay it or get thrown in jail. He would give a little bit to the government and keep the rest. They were every tax collector was corrupt. And Jesus goes to a party with tax collectors. And it says that night, Matthew invited Jesus to dinner with his fellow tax collectors and many other, quote, notorious sinners, end quote. Now, the Pharisees, that's the religious legalists, they were indignant. Why does your teacher eat with such scum? They asked. Well, that's very loving. Okay. When Jesus heard this, that comment, he said, hey, healthy people don't need a doctor. Sick people do. And then he added, now go and learn the meaning of this scripture. I want you to be merciful, not to offer sacrifices. For I, Jesus, have come to invite sinners to me, not those who think they're righteous. And I didn't come for people who think they're well. I came for people who know they're sick, who know they're broken, who know they have problems. I've come to invite sinners to me, not to those who think they're righteous. Now, the religious Pharisees, the legalists, they couldn't understand it. Why is this guy, acting cozy with crooks and riffraff? He's going to all these parties. There's a bunch of drunks and gluttons, and, Jesus is a party animal. They actually accused him that in the Bible. He's a party animal. But Jesus was not looking for their approval. What he was doing is he was looking and listening to the needs of other people. He was going to where the needs of other people were, and he wasn't offended by their sins. You can't help somebody you're offended by. You got to show mercy. Okay, here's the third principle. Choose my words carefully. If you're going to be an agent of mercy in the world this week, you're God's secret agent of mercy. And you're going out and you're showing mercy in the workplace and in the neighborhood and in the grocery store and at the post office. You have to choose your words carefully. Mercy puts a monitor on my mouth. If I'm going to be an agent of mercy, there's some things I just can't say. Does that make sense? I can't be mean to people. I can't be rude to people. I can't be sarcastic to people, and I can't put them down. I have to choose my words carefully. Colossians 4:6. When you talk, you should always be kind and pleasant, so you will be able to answer everyone in the way you should. Circle the word pleasant and kind. You are never persuasive when you're abrasive. If you can't get what you want in a grocery store or in a department store or at a restaurant, and you're being offensive and you're being rude to the clerk or the waitress, you are never persuasive when you're abrasive. He says, when you talk, you should always be kind, always be pleasant, so you'll be able to answer everyone in the way you should. That's what agents of mercy do. Let me show you another verse up here on the screen, Ephesians 4:29. Do not say harmful things, which tear people down, but say what people need. Words that will help others become stronger. In other words, words that build them up, not tear them down. Your words tear down people, they build them up. Words that will help others become stronger. Then what you say will do good to those who listen to you. That's the Bible. That's God telling you how you are to speak if you're an agent of mercy. You do not say harmful things, but you say what people need. Words that will help them become stronger. Okay? Now, how in the world do I do that? How do I, if I've had this pattern, maybe you grew up learning, you were in a family, it's common to put each other down. How do I break that habit in my life? You ask God for wisdom. Wisdom, we talked about this a while back, makes you patient. The more wise you are, the more patient you'll become. The more wise you are, the more merciful you'll be. The more you understand the hurts of other people, the more you cut them slack. the more gracious and merciful you are. James chapter 3, verse 17. The wisdom that comes from heaven is pure, and it's peace-loving. In other words, if I'm wise, I love peace, not conflict. There are people on the internet who are not wise. They don't love peace. They love conflict. They love arguing. They love trolling. They love getting into a fight. They're not wise. They're unwise. The wisdom that comes from heaven is peace-loving. It's gentle at all times. When I'm not gentle, I'm not being wise. And it's willing to yield to others. Wisdom is full of mercy. The more your life is filled with mercy, the wiser you're going to be. And the wiser you become, the more merciful you're going to be to people around you. Even people who totally disagree with you. Even people who don't like you. Even people who consider themselves to be your enemy. You still show them mercy because you're wise. Okay? Now let me give you a fourth principle. Start looking and listening for people's needs. Don't be offended by people's sins. Choose your words carefully. And here's the fourth principle of mercy. Value saving people over keeping rules. In God's book, saving people is a whole lot more important than keeping rules.
This is Pastor Rick's Daily Hope, and you're listening to our series called The Miracle of Mercy. There's more coming up, so stay with us.
If you'd like a copy of this